Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of BVP Sports. Today we're going to be talking about the NFC South. I am joined with Haybale and my partner, Brian. All right, Haybale, we're going to start with you for today. We have a few things lined up, and we're going to start with the records for all four teams. So let's get it going.
All right, so when I look at the standings from last year, Saints were the only team in the division with a winning record. As we all know, rosters have changed a lot. A lot of things have changed. So basically, I'll get right into it. Saints filled all the gaps that they were missing with the additions of Emmanuel Sanders and Malcolm Jenkins. And what's the center we drafted first round? Cesar Ruiz, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our O-line last year, quite frankly, fucked us over hard because Drew Brees breaking his finger was on the O-line, and I rewatched the Saints-Vikings game approximately 5 days ago. O-line that game, terrible. Read up on Cesar Ruiz, he's looking good. So I'm going standings here. I think Saints have the same record again, 13-3. I'm giving the Bucs 11 wins. I think the Panthers are worse than last season at 5-11. I think they only win 3 or 4 games.
Wow, being a Saints fan, you don't support Teddy Bridgewater?
I'm not going to lie. Teddy Bridgewater was just a product of the system. We plugged him into our system very carefully. We babied him. He's not ready to lead a team, and I stand by that. I think the Panthers are going to be
You don't think that the new coaches in Carolina are going to get it done?
No, I think the Panthers are going to be absolute horseshit. It's going to be a dumpster fire with Teddy Bridgewater, new coaches. It's game over.
Hey, Bill. Did you say 4-12 for the Panthers?
I'm saying 3 or 4 wins. They're gonna be shit.
I'm keeping track.
And then with Falcons I'm giving 8-8. Bucks I'm giving 11. Saints 13-3.
Okay, VP, what you got?
Hold up. So just real quick before I jump into it. So you got Saints at 13 and you got Tampa Bay at 11.
Tampa Bay is going to get the wild card.
So Tampa Bay gets wild card. Okay. And with the new playoff system that they got going, 3 teams that get wild card, so makes it easier.
Yeah.
You think Falcons get in 8-8 or no?
I think Falcons are barely out at 8-8.
True. Okay. I guess mine's gonna be pretty similar to yours. Maybe not so much as records, but just as far as positionally it goes. I got Saints at the top of the division. Let's go 12-4. Buccaneers, I like them to finish 10-6. I think that Tom Brady still makes the playoffs, but I think it's definitely a wild card. And I think it's going to be a first-round exit for him as well. I don't care who they play against. After that, I got the Falcons. I think the Falcons do really well this year, finishing 9-7. So we'll see where 9-7 gets them. It could be playoff contention, but as we go on with the list of other divisions as well, we'll see where exactly 9-7 finishes them. And then I think that the Panthers do better than what you're saying, 3 or 4 wins. But once again, not enough. I got them at 7-9. And I've got them at 7-9. I think that with the new offensive coordinator, new coach, I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air. I think Teddy Bridgewater is actually going to be a good quarterback for them. I don't exactly love that they've basically decided that Christian McCaffrey is the offense. But I think we're going to see DJ Moore get better. We already saw that last year. He performed really well. I think he goes off and does really well this year. And we also saw the defense become a lot better as well. So I don't think that the Panthers are going to be as bad.
See, that was
thing that they are.
Quick question though. You really believe in DJ Moore?
Oh, absolutely.
He's good.
Yeah, I think DJ Moore's a really good receiver.
What do you think about the addition of Robbie Anderson?
I mean, I think right now when you look at like who they've got, I'm not going to say they have a great wide receiving core, but they do have great depth. And I think that that's kind of, what a lot of people kind of don't look at sometimes is that they do have a lot of receivers to throw to now. And for someone like Teddy Bridgewater who's being thrown into a new system, I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have options. So I think he's got the check down always with Christian McCaffrey, but it now has a lot of wide receivers that he can go to. So
how many wins you say you give the Panthers?
They'll do better than 4 wins.
Gave them 7 wins.
I give them 7.
So You went 12 on the Saints. How many on the Bucs?
12. He went 12, 10, 9, 7.
I mean, I think it's a fairly decent division this year. I'll say that.
It'll be the best division in football, I think,
I think, yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be up there.
with the NFC West.
All right. I already know this is going to piss me the fuck off, but let's hear the records here, Brian.
Ready for Brian's?
Yeah, and I know it's going to be horse shit, but
Before I start, I'd like to get a little intro from my boy, Tommy.
Yeah, fuck yourself. That is
No,
awful.
no. Haybale can go fuck himself. Here's what I got. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent real quick. The Saints are the biggest jokes in all of the NFL to me, and for this reason alone, you could argue, in my opinion, and I think Haybale will agree with me. I think the VP will agree with me. They've had arguably the best roster in the NFL, if not the best, for the past 3 seasons of football. And
I won't go 3, but I'll go 2.
they've had a top 3 roster in the NFL for the past 3 seasons, and they're not that again.
Sure.
Disagree?
No, it'd be very hard to disagree.
I hear no disagreements, and as Haybale said, they put that roster. Added a first-round O-lineman, added Malcolm Jenkins, added Emmanuel Sanders. I didn't think they had that many holes, and what holes they did have, they filled them. So the Saints, once again, are going to be an incredible regular season team. I think they drop off a single game. I think they go 12-4, though. Probably get a 2 seed in the NFC. Bucks at 10-6. Going to take them a little bit. I think they will eventually be better than the Saints come the end of the year. But it's going to take them a little bit. Got a lot of new pieces. Tom Brady. Going to have to get used to it. No training camp. So I got Saints 12-4. Bucks 10-6. I got the Falcons at – Falcons are tough. But I got them, honestly, 5-11. And I say that because I think, if you will recall, their coach was almost fired in the middle of last season, and they have a tough stretch coming up at the beginning of their schedule. I think they get off to a 3-4, 2-5 start. I think their coach is fired in the middle of the season, and they just tank from that point on. So I think Falcons go 5-11 for that reason alone.
Dan Quinn's gone, huh?
I think so. I think they have 8-8 talent, but I think they go 5-11 because the coach fired.
Dan Quinn's a shit coach.
I don't think Dan Quinn's a shit coach. I don't think
he's average. He's average to mediocre is what I would say. Not shit.
But he does the job. But I mean, you got to look at it this way though. Atlanta, their real problems aren't that they have a bad roster. It's been almost every single time due to injuries. So if they stay healthy, where do you got them?
8-8.
If they stayed healthy and kept the coach.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine you're saying that they go 5-11 just because of the team, because the team's not bad.
Oh no, that's just a prediction because, quite frankly, I think he's getting fired this season. That's the only reason I say that.
Okay. All right.
If he's the coach all 16 games and they stay healthy, like no injuries whatsoever, Keanu O'Neal comes back completely healthy. 8-8, potentially 9-7, probably an 8 or 9 seed, probably just missed out on the wild card.
Okay, fair.
I think they go 5-11 because the coach firing. Panthers, they got right around 6-10. I think they're a damn good 6-10 team, but got a lot of new pieces coming in. I kind of agree with Haybale. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater is the answer. I think he's a good short-term Band-Aid, if you will. But I would not make him my franchise quarterback. I think they paid him way too much. I think they reached a little bit. I'd much rather have a young guy like Justin Herbert, per se, just as an example. But I got Panthers at 6-10, Falcons 5-11. I got the Panthers as a damn good 6-10 team, though. But I got them at 6-10. I got Bucks at 10 wins, Saints at 12. But the Saints are a shitty-ass 12-win team, and the Bucks are a damn good 10-win team.
All right. So that rounds off our first little question that we had. Guys, next thing we're going to do, best offense and best defense that we see in this division. Haybale, I'll have you start us off there.
So I think a lot of people would answer that question saying that the Bucs offense, but quite frankly here, I'm going to have to go with my boys. I think the Saints have the best offense, and I quite frankly don't even think it's going to be close. Here's the thing. Drew Brees is going to have people coming for his fucking head after the things that he said, after what's been seen in my background. People are going to want to take him out, but here's the thing that people are already forgetting. Jameis Winston post-LASIX waiting in the rafters to come in there and sling that.
That's how you start this argument?
Here's the thing. We were that good without our offense was that good without Emmanuel Sanders. Alvin Kamara was banged up last season. A healthy Kamara, Sanders, Brees, Winston, Taysom Hill's only getting better. I see no way that the Saints don't have the best offense in the NFC South next year.
Dude, the fact that you somehow just mentioned both Drew Brees, Taysom Hill, and Jameis Winston as the reasons for the Saints' success, that's absurd.
I mean, that's just not Brian. Say what you need to say.
Hot take. I think the Saints would be better with Jameis Winston being their starting quarterback than Drew Brees.
I'm not going to disagree with that take.
I'm going to
I'm not
disagree.
going to disagree with that.
I'd like to disagree. Can I disagree?
But that's the take.
Bro, if you go back and watch Brees in that Vikings game, he looked old and frazzled.
Oh, absolutely did. I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that. But you think that Jameis Winston, who literally 30-30 last season's the answer?
Jameis Winston said after his eye surgery that he was happy that he could see stop signs and read license plates now. That man was slinging the fucking pill and wasn't even able to read a license plate.
At some point in time, you got to think that's not reality. That he's making that to be a point. All right, Brian, stop putting your fucking hand up, Brian.
Hey, why don't you respect my wanting to talk? Did you see the report that came out this week that said he had like a broken wrist or some shit for the past 4 weeks of the season?
Jameis?
Yeah.
Did not see that.
You see it, VP? Guess y'all don't watch enough NFL. Yes, I do.
No, I watch NBA, and yet for some reason, because you don't watch NBA, we have to do NFL topics every fucking time.
But you really gonna go there, man? Are we really?
I'm sorry. Get back on subject. I apologize.
Yeah, but no, I think if you get Jameis the tutelage of Sean Payton, I think he would do better than Drew Brees. Drew Brees, for the first 8 weeks of the season, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Last 8 weeks of the season and the playoffs, he's in the 10 to 20 range of quarterbacks in the NFL.
I like that.
Yeah, so I think they do better with Jameis. It's my
whole thing with Jameis, though, is you got to look at it from this perspective as well. Jameis was in basically the offense that he needs to be in to succeed, and he still couldn't really succeed. You know? He has Bruce Arians, who is basically just a gunslinging offense, likes to throw the ball as many times as possible. He had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. He had Adam Humphries, O.J. Howard. I mean, he had weapons everywhere. I mean, Brashad
didn't have
third, fourth receiver for him. I mean, he had big targets where he could just throw the ball up and they'd come down and they'd get it.
Let's get back on schedule. So are we just doing best offense right now?
Yeah. So Hayden's yeah. Do you want to do all of us best offenses and then all of us best defenses?
Yeah.
Let's do them. Let's do them together. Hey, Bell, who's your best defense?
So y'all are gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm going Saints. Their roster, their defensive roster is just too good. Their defense only got better as the season went on last year. And then you add Malcolm Jenkins into that equation. Marshawn Lattimore is only getting better. You got Janoris Jenkins on the other side. He's kind of clamping people the fuck up too. And our linebacking core is going to be healthy. And
I can't respect the Janoris.
No, listen. Our Cameron Jordan's the best defensive end in the league, first of all.
There you go. I mean, I'd like you to start with Cam Jordan, but I'm not going to say he's the best defensive end in the league.
He's the best D end in the league. Our linebacking core last year was not healthy. The loss of Anzalone did not help us at all. Healthy linebacking core. Cam Jordan's healthy. Janoris Jenkins, Marshawn Lattimore. You throw Malcolm Jenkins back there. We solely lost at least 7 to 8 games in the past 2 seasons due to our safety play. Malcolm Jenkins coming back, I'll save that for later in the conversation. Ryan?
I decided I'm going to save my comment for when I go. VP, Ruck.
All right. You know what? I'll make it quick. I won't go into a deep dive analysis unless someone starts yapping at me. Best offense. I think this is a pretty easy one. I'm going to go the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go Atlanta Falcons. Okay?
What I was expecting, but I like it. I like it.
And I say this with high hopes. This is easily an offense that could do terrible. But I'm going to go out here and say Matt Ryan did not perform well last season because of an extremely bad offensive line and a pretty bad run game that limited what they could do offensively. I think you look at what they did, they have addressed the offensive line situation. They have both done that in free agency and they have done that in the draft. So, yes, I am banking on the offensive line being revamped and giving Matt Ryan the time to throw balls. All right. But then you take it one step further and you say, as far as like a duo wide receiver in the league goes, you could say that the best duo is the Atlanta Falcons with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. I don't think that there's many teams that you could say would have a better duo as far as wide receivers go.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, the obvious one in the room would be the Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, sure. But I don't think that, as far as just quarterback situation and wide receiver goes, see, this is what's going on here. I don't have the trust in Tom Brady to really utilize Mike Evans. And, that's neither here nor there, though. We're still in Atlanta, okay? Then you talk about them bringing in Todd Gurley, okay? If we can get a healthy Todd Gurley, you've got Todd Gurley with Matt Ryan, a revamped offensive line, and arguably one of the best duos for wide receivers in the NFL. I think we could see the Atlanta Falcons come out on top as far as the offense goes. That's just me. That's my take. And that's a well-rounded. That is taking into account the quarterback, wide receivers, and running back, which I think that would be the one knock that I have for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is they don't really have a running back right now. That's all I have to say. Defense. Defensively, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are extremely well-rounded. They could stand to revamp the linebackers a little bit, but the defensive line is fantastic. Great defensive line for the Buccaneers. Secondary, they've gone out there. Yeah, fuck you for Michael Thomas. Secondary, though, they've gone out there. They've drafted a few guys. They got a few guys that have been there for a while now. I think you look at that defense and you say that is definitely, without a question, in my opinion, going to be the top defense that we've seen out of the South this year. All right, I'll give it to you, Brian, unless anyone has anything to oppose on that. It did seem like there were some faces, but I'll let Brian go.
I didn't like the Todd Gurley comment, but everything else I support.
I don't know how you could not like the Todd Gurley comment. If he comes
I just think he's done.
Well, then he's good.
I don't think you come back from an arthritis scare. I think he's done personally. But that's the only issue I have with what you said. Best offense. I got another wild card. I got the Bucks.
That's just not a wild card. You've been saying Tom Brady this entire time.
Hey, did you say Tom Brady?
Again.
Say Tom Brady?
Oh, put his bitch ass away.
Hey, are you gonna have the best offense in the NFC South this year?
Dude, fuck yourself.
No, I really like it though. I'm looking at it right now. They addressed the O-line, and that's the VP and I have had many discussions about this. The offensive line, if I was starting an NFL team today, I would spend 45% of my cap. Probably not that much, but a good
yes. I don't think we said 45, but yeah,
a good bit of money in the O-line.
One of the top things that I would look for.
Yes, 100%. A good O-line makes a shitty QB look good. A good QB can't make a shitty O-line look good. We saw that with the Patriots last season. They'll be going to an improved O-line. Tristan Wirfs going to kill it. I like the running backs they have. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans.
Ooh, I gotta pause you real quick. You like the running backs?
Ronald Jones was good last year, and I think Keshawn Vaughn will be a good running back this season. I really do. That's my opinion. You can disagree, but that's my opinion.
I think the only person that's going to do well in that system as far as running backs go is going to be Dare Ogunbowale, but that's neither here nor there.
Either way, I think the running backs will do well enough. I can't remember the last running back who was purely a running back that did super well with Tom Brady. The last one was probably in 2013. So it's a passing system. You've said it yourself. Bruce Arians is a passing guy.
Oh, absolutely. But that's why I would say that it would be Ogunbowale's game.
Either way, I'm looking for more receiving backs than I am running backs, and I think the Bucs have that. I like that. The tight ends, they have one of the best tight end rooms in the league. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, like that says enough. Like, need I say more? I don't think so. I think the line is better. And as much as I want to say, Tom Brady's missing out on all these training camp reps. NFL defenses are missing out on the exact same number of training camp reps that Tom Brady is right now. With all this corona bullshit, who do I trust more to have their shit together once week one rolls around? Tom Brady or NFL defenses? I'm trusting Tom Brady. I think the Bucs defense will be the best in the league. Maybe not by yards, but by just eye test, I think the Bucs offense will be the best in the league. Defensively, this is where I'm going at Haybale. This is the comment that I held back. I wanted to wait my turn for. I'm going the Saints. Quite frankly, Haybale tried to make it sound like a hot take when you said the Saints would have the best defense in the NFC South. I think that's ridiculous. This could be, in some seasons, the Saints defense right now could be a Pro Bowl defense. And you're going to try to make it sound like, oh, like they filled a couple holes. Shut the fuck up. Cam Jordan, you stole Malcolm Brown from the Patriots. E-line's great. You got Anzalone. Like, linebacker core is great.
We haven't even talked about Demario Davis yet.
Oh, let's talk about that shit too. Oh, you already had a good defense, Lattimore, blah, blah, blah. And then let's add Malcolm Jenkins to it. Fuck you. Brings me back to my point. If the Saints don't go to the Super Bowl, Drew Brees can go fuck himself. He is out of any GOAT conversation. He's out of any top 5 quarterback of all time conversation.
Here's the thing I would like to say is that the Saints across the past 5 to 6 seasons have generally tended to have a very solid defensive roster. Like, think back to when we got Bird from the Bills and everyone was like, oh, like their defense is going to be really good this year. And we consistently get fucked over by having a bad defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that. I mean, your defense was probably top 3 last year.
Hold on, let me look at the ratings last year.
I mean,
I'm looking at the roster right now. It's pretty damn good.
Did extremely well.
I'm just saying, our defensive coordinator, like the play calls from the defensive coordinator over the past couple of years have fucked us over hard.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. We have to move on though. Best offense, best defense. All right, boys. We're now going to do the MVPs for each team. So who do we think is going to be the guy that basically is bringing in the total of the win shares for each team here?
All right. So I'll run through this quick. Saints, he's in my background. It's going to be easy. He's going to keep fucking doing his thing. He's going to be great. Michael Thomas, MVP for the Saints. MVP for the Bucs, I'm going Godwin. I think Godwin just puts up insane numbers this year. I think Godwin does better than Evans. I'm going MVP.
Are you saying Godwin's going to do better than he did last year?
I don't know his exact numbers last year. I'm just saying I think Godwin is going to – I think number 1 receiver in the NFL, Mike Thomas. Number 2 could very well be Godwin.
I mean, Godwin was top 5 last year, no question.
And then, okay, MVP for the Falcons, I'm going Matty Ice. I think he's going to have a good season. And then MVP for the Panthers, it's pretty obvious, McCaffrey. So,
All right. Yeah, there's not going to be much change from me. I think that, Michael Thomas is probably going to be the MVP. Could be Alvin Kamara. But after last season, you just don't know. So I'll go Mike Thomas there. For the Buccaneers, I'm going to say MVP is going to be Tom Brady. And I say that just because he is the big addition. And from what we saw last season into the playoffs, and I got them making the playoffs this year, I got to say that change just because of Tom Brady. So I'll give it to Tom on that.
I may change my MVP for the Bucs to Shaquille Barrett.
Shaq Barrett's a good one, but I look at Shaq Barrett, and I think there's no way he's going to have the season that he had last year. It's just it's a tough one there.
All right, let's keep it going.
Back-to-back seasons like that.
Yeah, I mean, he had an insane season last year. It'd be tough to do that again. For the Atlanta Falcons, you could go a lot of ways with the Atlanta Falcons. As much as I'd like to say that Matty Ice is going to be the reason they win games.
All I'm seeing is Mike Thomas here. We're sponsored by Boda Box or Black Box. Both boxes of wine. We love it.
It's tough when you got the wallpaper. Very
tough. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, it's a toughie. All right, for the Atlanta Falcons, MVP for the Atlanta Falcons, man, you could go a lot of different places here. I'm gonna go with Julio Jones here, though. I'm gonna say this is probably gonna be one of Julio Jones' probably the last good years. I don't really know how much longer we're gonna see Julio Jones really dominate the way that he does, and I think that as long as they're in contention for playoffs, he's gonna just go off. And I think that Dan Quinn. And I think the coaching staff realizes that maybe underutilized what some would say is the best wide receiver in the NFL. And I think we're going to see this year come around that Julio Jones is going to be exercised in ways that we haven't really seen. And then for the Panthers, there's really one person. It's not even a question. Christian McCaffrey is the Carolina Panthers. Not much else to say. You're up, boy.
I'm going to start with the Saints. I think this is my hottest take, but I think you guys might be able to get behind it or at least be able to understand it. I'm going Cam Jordan. I think he's really the heart and soul of that team. I think he's the best player on that team, quite frankly. I think he's really going to hold that defense down, hold them accountable. I can't remember the last time that man had a bad season. I think he's really going to go off this year. I'm personally a huge fan. I love the way he plays the game. I think Cam Jordan's going to have a great season. I got him as MVP of the Saints. For the Bucs, I got Tom Brady, kind of what the VP said. I mean, he's the missing piece. And kind of what's been thrown around there, I think the Bucs will have a lot of success. But I also don't know that we'll see the same system for the Bucs that we saw the past couple seasons with Jameis at the helm. But I think Tom will be kind of the glue that makes it work. So I got him as MVP of the Bucs. For the Panthers, I want to say someone else other than Christian McCaffrey, but I don't know if there's another option. It's not going to be Teddy. It's not going to be Robbie Anderson.
There's just nothing to really talk about there. That one's clear. So.
I mean, you could possibly say DJ Moore, but outside of that, it's a toughie.
It won't be. It's going to be CMC.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Hey, quick side note off the NFL, though, because I have ESPN pulled up here. What the fuck happened to Jordan Spieth?
What happened?
Connor, I'm really mainly talking to you here, but he's been kind of chunking it today. I was hoping he could pull out the victory today, but.
I mean, to that, I would say that Spieth has kind of been in a hole for a few years now. It was kind of surprising the way that he performed in the first 3 days. I was unsurprised, however, that he kind of fucked it in the fourth, Fourth and final day, we've seen it multiple times before that he's kind of not been able to pull it out. putting didn't go the way that it should have for him today. And once again, his driver failed him, which has been a
Yeah.
con for him over the years.
Yeah. All right. Just a quick side note. Are we doing busts? All right. So are we moving into busts now?
I'm not done.
I think Brian still had Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Haybale, fuck you. You're gonna
Sorry.
come here and then direct the
What
conversation.
the fuck was this? This was a good podcast. And you're talking about Jordan Spieth.
That's ridiculous. He comes in here and tries to run the show.
I mean,
All I gotta say is Haybale will not be back.
he might be back, but I mean,
He won't be back until the Saints blow it in the playoffs again, which they will.
all right. Hey, fucking Brian, finish Atlanta.
For Atlanta, I got Julio Jones, kind of what the VP said. I'm not giving it to Matt Ryan. Depending on how their season goes, if it turns out well, I might give it to the O-line because I think that's the only thing that's going to save them.
Yeah.
But assuming if all goes to what I think is going to happen, I'm giving it to Julio. That dude's the best wide receiver in the league.
I'm not really sure what's going on here. All right, thanks, boys. So moving on from the MVPs, we're now going to talk about what we believe is going to be the biggest success and the biggest bust for this season. And that's speaking in a more situational sense. So not so much just like a player, but maybe more of what a team is trying to do and seeing that either work out or not work out. So, hey, Bill, we'll start with you, and we'll see if you kind of get what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going biggest success is Brady to the Bucks. I think it's going to be really successful. I think he's going to fit into Bruce Arians' system really well and put up bigger numbers than he put up in New England this past couple years. Biggest bust. I'm going to stick on the Bucks here, and I'm going player. I think Rob Gronkowski's not going to do shit. Quite frankly, I think he should have stayed in retirement. I think a lot of people are hyping him up. I think O.J. Howard is already good enough, and I just don't see Gronk doing much in Tampa Bay, I'll be honest. So that's what I got.
It's not bad, not bad. So I guess for me then, my biggest success, I'll go with Christian McCaffrey. I think that them giving him that deal, which when you look at running backs in today's NFL, I think a lot of people would say, why are you paying them so much? Christian McCaffrey gets probably one of the biggest deals that running backs ever gotten in a day and age where running backs really don't get big deals. But I think in this situation, I think Christian McCaffrey is the heart of the Carolina Panthers. I think he is what makes them either win or lose, and I think we're going to see great things out of Christian McCaffrey. And because of that, maybe not this season as far as winning goes, but I think that the culture around Carolina is going to be through Christian McCaffrey, and I think that paying him that big money, giving him that big contract was the right thing to do. I think that we're going to see big success, if not this season, especially down the road. I think that's my big success out of the NFC South. My big bust, as funny as this is, that I talked highly on the Atlanta Falcons, I think let's go to a different running back in Todd Gurley. I think that it is entirely possible that we could see Todd Gurley struggle a lot with the Atlanta Falcons. The injuries that he's had with the knees and the arthritis, it is something that has to be looked at, has to be acknowledged. And not to say that he's going to have a bad season, and especially when you look at it from a value-wise perspective, Atlanta did get him relatively cheap, so it does make sense as to, if he doesn't do well, it doesn't really, matter to them. But I just don't think that we're going to see the Todd Gurley that some might expect out of him. I put that to be the biggest bust for the NFC South, is maybe just Todd Gurley not performing to the ways that people would want him to.
Biggest success, what Haybale said, I think it's Tom Brady going to the Bucks. I think it's going to work out really well. Once again, I think it's going to work out really well, especially with those weapons. Tom Brady hasn't had those weapons since the 07 American break season. I don't think they'll have quite as much success as the 07 season. I think they'll do really well. For biggest bust, I actually have Teddy Bridgewater with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because I think he will be awful, but I just think after the 5-game stint he had with the Saints where he went, what, was it 5-0?
Yeah.
I mean, you got, again, once again with the roster with the Saints, he was working with what I consider to be the best roster in the NFL at that point.
Oh, definitely.
And he will not have that kind of support around him this season. And I just think expectations, especially when you look at the deal that he got from the Panthers, expectations just going to be too high. And I don't think he'll be awful. But I personally consider Bridgewater to be a lower tier starter in the NFL. One of the bottom probably 12 quarterbacks in the NFL as far as starting caliber quarterbacks go. And I think expectations are just too high for him, especially when you look at his supporting cast. And I don't think he'll do as great as everyone expects of him, at least Panthers fans expect. So that's going to be my biggest bust.
All right. Guys, that does finish off the checklist that we –
Hey, VP.
Yeah.
Okay, I say before we end, let's give I think we each had two teams. I think we each had the Saints and Bucks going to the playoffs. How about we guess where we think those two teams are going to finish in the playoffs?
Okay. Yeah, that works with me. Haybale, if you want to start.
I say Saints lose the Super Bowl. And I say Bucks are a first or second round exit.
Okay. Yeah. I think that the Saints don't get a bye again. I think the Saints finish as the 3 seed, and I do think they make it out of the first round. However, I think they lose in the second. As far as the Buccaneers go, I think they lose in the first. And there's nothing against Tom Brady. So sorry, Brian. It's just I think that the Bruce Arians offense has shown that it does have success, but that it never really has the legs to make it all the way. That's me personally. And that's just saying that because Bruce Arians has shown that no matter how successful he can be, he can't make it to the end. All right, Brian, you're up.
I think both the Saints and the Bucks lose in the second round of the playoffs. I think they both lose to the teams that go to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so then just to bounce off that then real quick, and I know this doesn't pertain to the NFC South at all, but since we're on the subject, we might as well just finish it off here. Who do we expect to be in that NFC Championship, and who do we expect to be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl? Hayden or Haybale, I know that you are expecting the Saints to be in the Super Bowl, but for Brian, where are you looking at this?
I have the Seahawks, and it's kind of a dark horse pick. I have the Seahawks and the Eagles in the NFC Championship. I said it. I know you guys don't like it, but I said it. I'm standing by it. I have the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl ultimately 100%. I think the Eagles will be there. If they're not there, either the Saints or the 49ers will be playing them. I have the Saints winning the NFC Championship, or the Seahawks winning the NFC Championship.
Fair enough. For me, NFC Championship, if it allows itself to be, I think we're going to see a repeat of last year. I think it's going to be Packers and 49ers. I think the 49ers have just bolstered their offense and defense, and I think that the Packers have done the same as well. But that is just my opinion. Guys, we are going to end today. It was fun having you, Haybale. Hope to have you on sometime soon. Brian, great to be a part of this with you as always. Guys, next episode we're hoping to have out soon. It's always great having you guys on watching. We'll see you next time.